Hi folks, we're back again with a nice opportunity to have a new wine and paper thing going on, and this time it's wine and paper on tour. We are here in San Francisco, and as a matter of fact we have the paper here in this vast room office, and we're in Chuck Sperry's place. And
welcome to the studio. Happy to have you here.
And Chuck is a well-known San Francisco poster artist. With him is Alexandra Fischer, native of Germany, as a matter of fact, native of Mönchengladbach.
Hallo, wie geht's, wie steht's? Welcome to Chuck Studio.
And we're going to open a bottle now, which we obtained this morning from Continuum Winery in Napa Valley.
Yum, yum.
Yum, yum.
Which is the poshest place I've ever been to.
Really?
Seriously.
There we go.
There it goes.
The cork is very good because the wine is not that old.
Yeah.
It started only in 2006.
Oh, okay.
And what year are we drinking?
We are drinking Continuum. They only have one wine and not even a second wine, and the vintage is 2014.
All right.
Have a nose?
Have a nose? There is not much of a nose as of now,
Smells good.
but we have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
But
some
then
breathing.
again, we can directly start because it breathes as well when there's a lot of wine out.
Yeah, right. True.
It breathes better.
Breathe us in the cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall I?
So, yeah, pour. And I guess I'm going to switch over there.
I pay it safe for the drivers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do.
I'm also going to talk
This is
about
not
posters.
Germany.
Yeah. Oh, good. We have the wine, and I think we're going to wait a moment until we drink it.
Yeah.
So it is time to mature a little bit. You don't want to have the political poster on top.
Yeah, I don't know. Might not be everybody's cup of tea.
I think the guys who are watching our videos are going to love if I'm honest, I think most of the people who watch our videos are rather left-wing. Wouldn't you agree? Man behind the camera. Yes, he agrees. So, yeah, you're producing posters for bands, of course, but as we've seen for maybe a split second now, you also do political posters and for rallies and everything, and you are having an art show soon, so you're very busy.
Yeah, you have to be as an artist. I don't think otherwise you're gonna be feeding yourself with that job alone, you know.
No,
And
for
it's
sure.
a passion, so it doesn't really feel like work in the first place, I guess, a little bit, sometimes, but yeah.
I kind of don't know what to do with myself if I'm not making an art piece. So it's just one after another.
And it's not just art. Excuse the. But it's also it's working art. It's something that is advertisement. It's something that's going to go out to fans and things like that. So I think you're kind of in a sweet spot. It's not just art to collect, but it's also art to do something in the street.
Yeah, it's really funny because I think more and more the institutions in the art world are accepting the function of the rock poster within the museum system. So they used to discriminate against rock art because it had a function in the world, and so it was a communication art. But now I think it actually adds a little bit of a provenance to the art, that it actually has a function, because so many other art forms that have function are coming into the museum. Graffiti, skate art, you know.
Tattoos in a museum.
No, but perhaps some of them, not on humans, of course, but
Tattoo art, I'm sure there's
Tattoo
shows of
art.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
There's very-
comic book art. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, all that stuff. And I agree. I think it has to do with that to some degree. The art world, the fine art world, if you want to like separate it like that, is really unapproachable for a lot of people, right? And this is more of a commemorative piece that like sort of represents a part of your life when you look at it later on your wall, right? So to some degree, I think it's a lot more approachable for normal people. And the power of a poster, personally, for me, I have an art degree. I have a bachelor's of fine arts, and to me, I found early on that I really love posters because everyone can relate to them. If it's a rock poster and you have like spent that experience there, or you like to remember that time of the 60s or 90s or whatever your youth golden years are or whatever, right? And then that becomes true. Actually, this was they have been starting to celebrate the 50th Summer of Love. So last year was the anniversary.
Sorry.
And then this year they did the next year also music from '68 this year in the park, and so you have a big revival of and this sort of shows the connection that people still have to back in the day. And then also, as Chuck was saying, he has done a bunch of, and we have together, and handed them out, and we're mischievous like that, made political art, right? And again, it's because it is a great communication tool, especially when you print it double-sided, so that the cameras catch it when you're standing at the protest. And they're filming the speaker, and everything. So anyway, there's tricks like that. But this is what makes them
Totally.
right. But this is what makes it interesting for me, because I get a voice too now, right? So yeah, sure. If I make band or advertising is sort of that not quite the same thing, because there's a whole we kind of break those rules of design a lot more, because we don't have to maybe commit to it as much as like for a magazine or something like that, right? So, but this is personally why I love posters, and I think also people have recognized in a digital age, going further and further away from an object, right, that stuff like posters become really cool again. Because you used to go to a club and buy the CD, right? Now you don't have a CD because it's online. You bought it on iTunes. So what are you gonna buy? The T-shirt, the book, or maybe like a poster, right? And
That's the stuff where more money is being made than with the music, with the downloads.
yeah,
As far as I know, yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It seems like in the last 10 years, if not a shorter period of time, that the poster has become really important for the bands in order to make some money at the show. It's like a commemorative that people can take home, and album sales are just not what they used to be. So the bands are really on constant tour.
So it's changed from advertising to art, and now to merchandise.
Like a commemorative, yeah. I think there's a kind of a blurring on all sides. It's interesting to watch. I'm seeing bands are hiring fine artists to do posters for their bands. People who were doing rock posters are now doing fine art, and there's like a lot of exchange between the two.
And very interesting is the concept of Moon Alice, who don't have a record company.
Right.
And could you, as being close to them, tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alex is art director for
Sure.
Moon Alice.
Yeah, me and my husband together, we tackle the art direction of this band. Moon Alice is extravaganza of posters, really. Somewhere in this pile, I actually bought a whole bunch. Let me just pull them up to the surface.
Yeah. Here, I'll hold them for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, they're so sweet. Chuck has made. Should have brought some of yours too.
Oh, no, that's cool.
Didn't dig deep today. Anyway, so this is a band who is a little bit older and also loves and lived the 60s experience, and has really, really high appreciation for posters. Since 2007, we have created over 1,070 posters. These are mine. That were lying around.
I love this one, Ellen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's actually the bottom part of that jewel poster.
Ah.
Anyway, as you can see, I vary in styles. But anyway, the band is amazing because they love posters and they create one for every show. And just like the Fillmore in San Francisco, I don't know if you know the club, like Chuck made a ton of posters for them. Chris, my husband, did too. I did a few. And they would always hand out, since what's the first Fillmore posters done, you think? Late 60s?
No, mid-60s.
Mid-60s, yeah.
66,
It was,
67.
it was actually 66, right? The 65 concerts were on Longshoreman's Hall.
Right. It was before Bill Graham really got running.
The 3 or 4 named concerts like the Doctor Strange thing, but then the Avalon and the Fillmore started in early '66.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should go and film that wall. It's amazing. It's really pretty. Anyway, so incredible love for the posters. Have the past in their memory, sort of, and decided we're going to create a poster for every show. We're going to support that art form because we want to support the artists of that art form, and we hand them out for free at every show.
For free.
For free. So just like the Fillmore, if you go to the Fillmore, you're going to get that poster at the end for free at the end of the show. You just got to stay to the end.
It's really funny how that developed. Bill Graham would make like 1,000 posters, but the room filled up to like 1,300 or 400 people. And so basically he needed to clear the hall quickly. And so someone would stand at the door with the poster and hand it to you as you left. And so that would incentivize everyone to run out the door.
He gave everybody an apple.
Right, and he gave everyone an apple coming in the place. And it was a sweet thing, the gesture of being welcomed. And here, have an apple. Drinks are over here. And they still have like a master of ceremonies that welcomes you to the Fillmore. So it's a neat old tradition. Yeah.
Full of traditions here. San Francisco is.
Since we're talking about traditions, I'd like to ask a little bit about how these posters are made. As far as I understand, you print them yourselves, and you still print with the silkscreen method. So you put one color on after another.
Yeah, so it's 2 different methods, right? I mean, if we're talking Moon Alice, then it's all offset. Because commemorative posters like that, it would be insanely expensive. And
you can't give
also,
away silk screens for free.
yeah, and they're playing 100 shows a year. You would constantly be, I mean, that would be insane in terms of production. So these are high-end offset lithograph, not a digital print. So not giclée or an inkjet, or giclée like they love to call it. So this was also done digitally by producing each plate separately. So CMYK, each color is printed separately on this press called a Komori. It's a Japanese, huge, like half this room kind of size press. So a high-end lithograph. Now, that's that. And then Chuck, master of silkscreen, Siebdrucke, probably why don't you explain that method, which is a little bit more involved and expensive.
So this is printed on wood, but typically I print on paper. And so each color is printed one at a time. It's printed on a semi-automatic hand press. I feed the paper, or wood in this case, into the press one at a time. And then it takes about a half an hour to 45 minutes for each color to dry. And then we stack it again and print again. And typically, if I'm doing 1,000 posters for, say, Black Sabbath, that's like 3 days, one color a day. And you just do like the one color, leave, come back the next morning, stack it again, do the second color, do the third color, fourth color. And so a lot of the bands that are touring today are getting silkscreen posters. And basically I'm contacted by everyone from The Who to Nick Cave, Black Sabbath, MC5 is doing their 50th anniversary, so I'm doing a series of posters for them. And basically Pearl Jam, do a lot of posters for them. So basically, it's nice.
It's a nice bunch of customers.
It's a nice bunch of customers. It's really funny when I got the Who job, though. It was someone here in this building, and he walked in right after I had finished doing 2,000 posters for Nick Cave. And I was waiting for the truck to come and pick up a pallet of posters. And I was so sore and tired, and he knocked on the door, and I let him in, and he goes, would you be interested in doing a poster for a band? And it was like very general. and after spending like 10 days on like 2,000 posters, 7-color posters, I said, dude, no, I don't want to do a poster for a band right now. And he goes, how about The Who? And I'm like, God, you suck.
Your timing.
Yes, I want to do a poster for The Who. So basically, he's like, you look pretty legit. And I said, well, as a matter of fact, yeah, my next poster's for Pearl Jam. I'm sort of a big deal. He just, it was so coincidental that he worked in the building. He's a woodworker here in the building. And he's the guy that does my wood now.
Okay.
But his girlfriend at the time worked for the production company in Los Angeles that does The Who. So that's how I got the Who gig. It's very funny. It was,
And a carpenter.
yeah, you know, typically I'm getting like passed from band to band.
Yeah.
And people are contacting me phone or email. And this was like so funny that it just hooked up because we happen to be neighbors.
That's actually the thing that like we should always think to like you get that question a lot. How did you start in this business? You know, and honestly, it's sort of like I mean I think I sort of came in through relations and then there's extra work and then working hard and just doing one after another, you know. But if you just don't have that foot in, you just go to your club or you just go to with your friend's band and you just start making them and you're not gonna make any money in the beginning, like with most things.
Right.
And then at some point, you make one and then you make two and you build a portfolio and at some point, you're gonna be there, you know. So but that's the beauty about it too. I think you either stick with it, and that's how you're gonna make it. Probably most things, right?
Yeah.
One of my favorite ideas with the posters is having posters for books, because that's often neglected, that you could have very great novels being with a poster. So
You mean for covers?
for covers,
For
yeah,
covers,
like
oh, yeah.
like Moby Dick or
yeah.
Oliver Twist, and
I'm with
my idea
me too.
is A Song of Ice and Fire, the books by George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
And as I happen to be his German agent,
You're gonna spice it up a little.
It just so happens.
we're so close.
I did this as a poster design for novelist Charles Bach, Beautiful Children.
Yeah.
And it was a New York Times bestseller.
Okay.
And then did the book cover for the trade book.
Yeah.
And then this led to me doing Lipstick Traces by Grail Marcus for
Yeah.
Harvard University Press.
Yeah, awesome. I mean,
Which was really funny. This is Random House, my first book cover. Right? Second book
looks
cover,
like a
Harvard
Harvard
University
University.
Press. I'm like, so I didn't have to struggle up through the ranks. They
Yeah.
just wanted a rock poster look.
yeah. I just
And
needed-
that was like a phase with the book companies for about a year or two.
Yeah, but I think
And
with
then
the
I'm back to
self-pub-
making rock posters, and I kind of put my finger in the book
Yeah.
pie for a little bit.
Well, they have the same problem that CD covers have. They don't get a budget. It's
Right.
incredible how little you get paid, or people get paid for CDs and book covers. So there is
Yeah.
not, so often it looks, honestly, to me, who does a lot of digital layouts and designs, when I see book covers, I'm like, great, that person took a photograph and like sort of put some type on it. That would take me like 30 minutes, and it's sort of, this is way more, and I don't quite understand it, to be honest, because I would grab this with the color and the before any other, probably right out of a stack of other posters, right? Just for that it is different, that it has some color, and then it would
Right.
stick out on the shelf, right?
Right.
So, I guess I gotta fit the story too. I just did Jeanette Sears' book cover, and that was all color and crazy, and I don't know,
Yeah,
you're-
it's fun. It's fun.
yeah.
Werner, I was just going to say we could try the wine and you're walking off.
I'm sure we'll be right back.
So Werner's just walked off. I'm going to try the
Give it a
wine.
try.
Sneak a zip in.
Oh yeah,
That's
and
good.
I'm just trying to guess what kind of different artists and kinds of art when go into this and kind of emerge in your style. So of course psychedelic, of course Mucha and other Art Nouveau artists, ukiyo-e, Japanese printing, and what else?
Secession.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vienna Secession. I like that. I'm really influenced by William Morris and the arts and crafts movement. You know, Edinburgh School and all that. But you hit it with
Yeah, with all of those,
ukiyo-e
basically.
and the Art Nouveau.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny, that's like in my description for my museum show. It's like really funny. But that's nice. It's really funny because there was a store in North Beach, SF Rock Posters, and my friend Grant works there. And basically when I first moved to San Francisco, he would like open the vault and they had these books that had like Fillmore and Avalon posters, and he would like go page by page and explain, you know, what the history of this poster and what went on at the show and how to tell a first edition from a second edition.
Yeah, all the geeky stuff.
But he used to look at my artwork and go, dude, it's so flat. And I'm like, yeah, because I like Japanese art.
Right.
And he's like, no, you should put shading and stuff. I'm like, no, that's like extraneous. That's too much.
Yeah.
And so I'm vindicated because
Because if you know
can see
ukiyo-e,
it.
you can tell. Yes.
Right, you can see it. And I think times also it changes, right? We were talking earlier about about museums accepting posters and stuff, right? And I think
Yeah.
that with every article, I guess, or at least with posters, I think that with posters, you look at the 60s, it was a really natural way of designing posters. And then in the 70s, it became really commercialized because people were like, hey, guess what? There's money in that, okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it became more stylized. Just look at the posters. They are like, you look at the 60s stuff and the rawness of them and to some degree. And then you look at the 70s stuff, and it becomes a lot more like
airbrush and kind of like prog rock,
Yeah,
right? You
and
know,
then-
like very ornate and
progress.
yeah, and then
I think of those Pink Floyd
things, yeah, right in a journey.
posters.
Wait,
Yeah.
So and then you sort of go into the 80s, and it's sort of like punk breaks that whole thing up, and you go DIY.
They return back to like you can actually see the
Right.
human hand in the work
Yeah,
again.
and I think it's a direct reaction out of that. Then you're calling clad color, and you look at your guys' stuff from the 90s, right? Be it from
Right.
Kozig or Firehouse or whatever.
Totally
you guys
sarcastic.
Were totally sarcastic, and also had more of that comic vibe still in it, and
Yeah,
a lot more flat
yeah.
color. So that logical progression goes on, right,
Mm-hmm.
into that. And then again, I think right now we are sort of again at a phase where posters are higher, you know, like polished, like again, like you know, more at that 70s level to some degree, right? And I think it's gonna now the result though is because we have the acceptance of a lot more museums and galleries and things like that. We have the chance to branch out more, right? Like Chuck and
art form anymore.
Yeah.
well, but you know, you end up with a show of being able to put paintings or print editions into it, where before the museum would have been like, what? No, like, right?
Yeah,
Or you would have to
yeah.
really fight it. And now it's like, hey, be invited, you know, like, please do
Absolutely.
your thing. And so there's that DIY thing too. I think we stuck to that a lot more because we came out of that, you know, 80s, 90s, like just do it yourself kind of a style. So
I mean, this
is
whole
great.
studio started as a DIY kind of thing. In fact, if you turn the camera over there, that is actually a door.
That table
That
thing?
table.
That like in front of the fridge?
Yeah, this is like an old door. I probably lost my sound, right? This is an old door from a hardware store, and basically we put Formica on it. Here's my hinges for printing, and the screen would go in there, and we hand printed on this in a shop that was about 40 feet by 40 feet. So
It's gone a little bit bigger.
it's gotten a little bigger.
Okay. I think we're going to finish off with the wine.
I got wine.
So, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
In,
And to the designated driver.
we think of you.
Yeah. It's good, huh?
I'm not going to ask her. I'm not going to ask her.
A minute ago.
So
wait,
you
that's
inhaled it. You inhaled it.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
it's some different thing.
No, it tastes good actually. I was trying to be funny and
Can I do a taste?
please. Since I'm obviously killing myself with it.
Are you happy?
with this wine.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And in
Of
general.
course I'm happy.
Good.
I paid a lot of money. I have to be happy, otherwise I'd go mad.
Okay, so next time. But it's a very good,
No, I'm not complaining though.
a very good ending to the day, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, it's one of the nicest wines we had in Wine and Paper, that's for sure.
Awesome.
And of course, we have a very nice paper selection as well.
Oh yes, nothing against your library, but I think this is the best backdrop and the greatest guests we have.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
yeah, here's to hoping for more posters in your collection and maybe some books with posters as covers.
Yes, I would love that. My favorite dream plan would be to have George Martin's Ice and Fire novels having as a poster series. I mean the covers, new covers for every Ice and Fire book, a new cover designed.
In
Well,
poster
let's
style.
drink to that. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a great idea. Let's
So-
hope that happens.
If anyone is going to pull that off, it's going to be you. So cheers to
Yes.
that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Double cheers.